Hi everybody, I've got a special fabric journal here today, and it's a big one, and this is for a custom order, and I know pretty much what she likes, so I made this one with all of the things that I know will be her favorites. It's for MJ. Hi MJ! Let's see what we got. We have, oh, yeah, it's right. It is 10 by 5.5, a little bit over 5.5. I've got I had some of these I got in an estate sale, these appliques, and they have little pearls sewn in them, and they're so beautiful. I used several of those in this. I just had a few left, so I just put them in here. I've got a beautiful piece of fabric that I sewed the edge around and around and around, so it made like this little ridge, which I'm really liking. And then back here is a piece of paper that's been stitched, of course. It's got a rose pattern beige cloth that I used with a really pretty kind of shiny ruffle. And there's the spine. And for the closure, I used a big, thick piece of lace. And the ruffle goes all the way around on the front and on the bottom. And on the inside, let's see, I hope I'm in frame. I can't tell. Okay. Over here I used one of these safety pin things y'all know I love to make of late. And it actually holds this closed. It's a pocket. But I didn't put anything in it. You can put whatever you like in there, MJ, for a stash. And I used, this is part of a placemat. And I tied on some sari silk. It had some really gorgeous lace on it. And then on the tablecloth part, or the part that's the solid cloth, I added a pocket here with some of this really soft, pretty fabric, and inside I put one of those letter cards for journaling. And what I really like about this, and I want to play with it a little bit more, is I intermixed some papers on the pages, well actually envelopes, and I really like the way it came out. It just adds a whole different look, a whole different feel. This is a extra piece of lace that I sewed in on the spine. This is an eyelet pocket that I stitched around with a little pretty Gucci label. And it's a pocket here. And I used a Rolodex card stamped with Tiffany & Company. And then some real pretty gold with a little brad and a flower. Such a cutie. And behind it is part of this placemat again. And I also added some lace, and that's part of the placemat coming over, peeking out from under the pocket. But on this side, to this this piece of fabric here, this lace, I attached an envelope. And again, that's part of the placemat back here. This is the lace fabric. And the envelope has been coffee stained, and it's got a doily on the front with some ruffles and some sari silk. And isn't that pretty? That's just a pretty doily. And a little button. And it opens up, and we have a card on the inside. Ooh, love that. Look at that. It's amazing what you get. And I didn't decorate this side of it because what I like about it is the contrast between the paper and the fabric. So that's pretty neat. And it's smaller, so you see this peeping behind it. On this side, I used another doily here. And this is a pocket for that little booklet I'll show you in a second. This is another part of that placemat. And I put a doily over it, and another doily, and then some silk flowers. And the booklet It's just real pretty. It's got different kinds of papers in it. All different kinds of papers. You know, when you do a fabric journal, it's got a lace spine. When you do a fabric journal, you've got to have, because you can't write on the pages, obviously, you have to have places, plenty of places for journaling. So I left the booklets blank, and you could take this out, put it in your purse, write what you want to write in it, and then you've got a place to store it. Which I'm just loving this idea. And again, MJ wanted a lot of her pockets up and down. She didn't want them like on the side, things like that. She likes the up and down look. So on this side, I want these 2 pages. I went a little crazy with that trim, but God, isn't it gorgeous? Look at that. And I figure, you know, with this, it's very appropriate. They do in Cartier, you know, a lot of the pearls. I thought they went together. And there's another one peeping back there. But this is again, it's another placemat, and I folded it down and sewed it, and then I put a little piece of lace behind it, and it holds a booklet. And I like this booklet a lot. I mean, a lot. I almost kept it for myself, MJ. But I didn't, because I know I can make another one. But what I like about it is I used a sewing pattern, and then up under, behind it, I used some muslin fabric. And then again, I sewed and sewed and sewed and sewed so to get that ridge built up. And put a nice graphic over it. But look, it's made out of the pattern paper. And of course, I sewed it onto a piece of cardstock. So the pattern paper, you know, is so flimsy, but this gives it its stability. It's glued down here too. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere, but the stitching really looks good. And again, it's got stitching throughout, and it's got some pieces of ephemera all through it, but it's mostly coffee dyed papers for writing. Nice little handy booklet. But I just really like this. And then a seam binding closure that's been coffee stained. And over here, again, that's that flower pattern I used throughout. Over here, I used this delightful fabric. I just love it. And it's not sewn here, MJ, if you need a little secret spot. But I put this booklet in this pocket, which is the same. It's got the part of that tablecloth, placemat that matches, and then a part of a napkin here, and of course the pearls and all the yumminess. And I made this booklet out of tags, out of shipping tags. And I put some lace and some muslin and some eyelet fabric and some of that sewing pattern paper. And then I just put lace over the tag itself. And on the inside, I cut the pages to look like a tag. Neato bonito. Love it. And I just left these so you could see that they were a tag. So I'm liking that. On this side, we've got some lace going on and some eyelet, part of a doily and silk flowers. And here's a double pocket in that wonderful sheer fabric with a little Chanel emblem. And in this pocket, I put just a card. I like the contrast. I like the way that goes together. It's just a card for writing or whatever you need a card for. And then behind it is another booklet. And I made this one out of a paper bag. And again, I used the muslin and I sewed around it like crazy. So it would get that ridge feeling tied. It was sari silk. You've got a place for storage here. You've got a place for storage here. And it's a gigantic notebook. Neato bonito. I've been making a lot of these in a real pretty ruffle that peeps behind. But I've been making a lot of these. I just fell in love with this, this and that other booklet. And you know, when I like something, I make about 15 different kinds, so. Because I have no self-control, I have to keep making them. And then I made some for me to use. Over here is another envelope attached to the fabric, the eyelet fabric. And it's got some pretty laces and some of that sheer fabric, little button, doily, some lace here. Look at this. Cartier. Cigarette holder with ejector tip. It's only $52. MJ, run out and get you one real quick. A matchbox case. Not a lighter. A matchbox case. That's hysterical. $47. Yeah, you're not going to get those prices anymore, Cartier. $47. In here, we have a journaling card. And I put in a little booklet, because I know MJ likes these booklets. I got a little heart closure. And just a little bit of hodgepodge of stuff with some lace, coffee stained papers. A little place to put a picture. Let's see, little fumble fingers can get this. Yep, I did it. Okay. And it fits real nice in that envelope. This is part of the placemat peeking over here and here. And it's just neat. I'm loving it. Over here, again, there's the other half of that lace piece that I sewed in on the spine with the eyelet pocket and all the laces peeping out behind it. And in here is one of those letter envelopes I like to make. And over here is a really pretty old vintage doily I got in an estate sale, and I put part of another doily over it on a pocket. This is a little bit different print than the floral. This is more of a damask, and it's kind of got a little shiny surface to it, which is nice. And, of course, we have another booklet in here. Looky there. And this has got some lace. Again, the muslin with the heavy sewing. Can y'all tell I'm just in love with that? But it feels so good. I don't know if you can tell. See how lifted it gets? It's pretty neato bonito. Music paper that's been coffee dyed. And on the inside, it is coffee dyed papers. And I know y'all have seen them 1,000 times. These could be different. Just different pages. Oop. Different pages. That's kind of neat. That's a little sheer paper. You can write on that. I just like that. I like the way that looks. Who is that? Scarlatti. Not familiar with him. Okay. Just delightful the way this came out. I plan on making in this style about 4 more. It's probably how much I can do with this fabric that I've got. And I'm still experimenting with this style. It's something totally different for me, but I like the beige on beige. I like the paper with it. I like the different textures of the fabrics. You know, it just all comes together and looks really nice. So I like, of course, you know, I like the white with the beige. That, you know, that's been my thing for a while. But it's just nice contrast of really basically shades of ecru's and white. So that is it for this journal. Here's the cover again, and of course, you know that safety pin that I have on here has got all kinds of like little charms and things, little danglies. Oh, there's a little dragonfly. Just cute things. And that's it for this journal. And I will see y'all hopefully next Friday with a bunch of new journals. Bye-bye.